Hi, everyone. Welcome to our fourth episode of PHHS Intercast, Shooting Your Shot 101. And today you guys will be learning about confidence and how you can also apply it to your own lives. And as always, I'm Alicia.
I'm Sandy.
And I'm Joanna. And our guest today, our area assembly featuring...
Hi guys, my name is Crystalline and I'm the international head.
My name is Kyler and I'm the community head.
My name is Charlene and I'm the service director.
And I'm the secretary. So starting off, area assembly is something that is new to Area 6 this year. I think it has been used in Area 6 in previous years, but for the last few years, there has been no Area 6 assembly, and our area director, Caitlin Tran, has brought it back this year. So do you guys kind of want to talk about what area assembly does, how you came to this position?
Okay, I can start. So for my position specifically, I'm just really in charge of kickstarting fundraisers so we can get funds as an area, but that's pretty much about it. Occasionally we'll have collaboration events with community so we can both have a bonding and a fundraiser. So yeah.
So I'm the community head. So basically what we just do is bonding and service events. So that's really this is really what I just have to say about it.
And as the service director, I kind of just keep together all of the community and service events. So I always keep track of that, and I'm in charge of making a directory to help each school in the Area 6 get to their required amount of area service activities, and yeah.
So overall, I would say area assembly is a group of individuals who take the initiative to help lead the area to the right direction, as well as our potential as the area.
And to add on, this assembly is assembled because, our area director can't juggle everything. So then if she, breaks it down into parts and then just give those positions to different people, it'll make her job a little easier. And yeah.
Yeah, so as secretary, my job is mainly to make spreadsheets and kind of keep track of the area, statistics, and help out the area director with tasks that she needs help with. And I think that it's a really great way to get to know people on an area level. You get to interact with a lot of different people that you wouldn't have normally interacted with if you're just in your home club. And with secretary, I think it's a nice insight into how the area director does their job too. And it's very informative.
All right, thanks, you guys. So moving on to what today's episode topic is on, confidence. So we all hold leadership positions, and I want us to each define what confidence is to us, if anybody would like to take that.
Okay, to me, confidence is I don't know, it's kind of just you have to know what you want, and you kind of just have a good mindset and go do it. I guess just have a good mindset, and that way you'll get confidence and it'll help you achieve things and be successful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because to me, confidence is the ability to do what you want to do and basically just put yourself out there without the fear of other people thinking bad thoughts about you, because I know that is something that can hinder your ability to really just, I'm going to repeat this and say, put yourself out there. But yeah, it's something really admirable to me because of that.
And to add on, I feel confidence, you have to have a lot of trust in yourself, because I know bad experiences can really, diminish that trust, but it just takes a lot of trust. I think experience builds up that self-trust you can have, because I feel when you're not confident, there's this lack of self-respect, and then you always constantly think about the worst. And I can speak for that because of my own personal experiences, but I know that all of us have the ability to do what we want to do, but like I've mentioned, it takes that trust. And then if you make a mistake, it's okay, because failure, mistakes, and all that do not define you as a person, and they're simply just an opportunity to improve.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel confidence it's not necessarily being unafraid, because like it's always going to be scary, and that's the whole point of having confidence, is to be brave. So like you, even if you are scared to do it, you just do it, and like you do it even though you're scared. And that takes a lot of effort, and I feel like putting in that effort is definitely worth it sometimes.
Yeah, and because it's really, really hard to do certain things in life, like I definitely know because I've had social anxiety almost all throughout middle school, and it's definitely like been a challenge as well going forward in high school. And I mean, the best advice I can really give is that sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, because that's what I've been doing for all of my interviews. And then like as I did more and more of them and took on more and more leadership positions within clubs and also like outside of school clubs, I kind of just got used to it, and I met a lot of really awesome people that supported me throughout the whole thing, and eventually it just came more naturally, even though I definitely still do get scared sometimes when I have to do these things. It's neuroscience, guys.
Kristen, do you want to talk about manifestation?
Manifesting? Okay. I mean, manifesting, I don't really know like the exact definition, but it seems like a lot of people on TikTok are like doing it just to like get what they want in a way where they don't necessarily have to like put a lot of action into it. But I can't like really say that I necessarily believe in it, but I think like if that's like your way to go, then you should do it. And maybe the universe will be in your favor and grant you whatever you wish. Like I think the idea is really cool, but I feel like people could use it just for like selfish reasonings, which I don't necessarily agree with. I feel like you should manifest something that's beneficial to you and the people around you, where it doesn't like create a like disbalance.
For me, I think manifestation, going back to what Charlene said earlier about like having the right mindset, I think that when you do have that positive outlook when you're manifesting for like the results that you are looking for, I think you do gain some self-confidence in yourself by having that mindset that you'll be able to get it. And it's just sort of like self-assurance as well.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of manifesting experiences, like people talk about it a lot on TikTok, and like I think they're really cool to just like listen to, but then like if like you have to make your goals like pretty realistic in a way where it's like TikTok sometimes gives you false hope about things, so you can't necessarily rely on it. But I go on TikTok just to like give myself that self-reassurance when I see like those tarot card readings and like manifestation videos. Like they actually comfort me. Like they're my comfort. Like they make me feel better.
Same. I love like reading those, but yeah, I feel like manifestation, it works sometimes, but I feel like it's kind of just up to you at the end of the day, because like it just helps you, like I feel like manifestation just helps you like feel better, and because you think that it's working, like you'll achieve it kind of. But like it, at the end of the day, it's kind of just you working hard, and it's like the effort you put in that's going to get you to your result. So it's not really the manifestation, it's just a way to help support yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely have personal experience with that because I think working on college apps, all I can do is just like hope and like manifest that I get into the college I want. But like, again, it shouldn't be the thing you rely on because your application isn't going to be perfect by magic, by manifestation. You definitely have to put in that work yourself. And I don't know, through the process of putting in that effort, you do like feel better about yourself. Like, hey, this essay is actually pretty good. Maybe the college will accept me.
I feel like manifestation is just a fancy term for setting realistic goals and believing in yourself. Like that's basically what it is. Because let's say like regardless of whether it's college apps or let's say driving, like if you have that mindset of, yeah, I'm gonna be a good driver, and you practice a lot, and when you do practice, you feel really confident about yourself because you already believe that you're gonna be a good driver. Like there's it gives you so much reassurance, because if you can see yourself achieving the goal, then you're more likely to achieve the goal because it's more like real to you. It seems more attainable. And I feel like that's something that really can be applied to anything, like even good grades. Like envision yourself having that 4.0, and maybe you'll get that 4.0, you know? Not through like pure manifestation, just like if you have that confidence in yourself and can see yourself attaining that goal, then you'll be willing to dedicate the work that is needed to get there.
I can definitely speak on that because throughout the summer, I was like, oh my gosh, I did so bad sophomore year. Like, junior year is supposed to be that one year where academics are pretty hard. But this year, I feel like during the summer, I kind of manifested that good student mindset where I actually like get myself to do my schoolwork and my grades aren't looking bad at all. Like, in like one of my classes, we had this group chat and we had like an in-class essay that day, and I jokingly around, I said manifesting an A for all of us, and then I ended up with an A, but I'm not sure about everyone else, but you know, it worked out in the end. But I feel like that like mindset, like that positivity that I like sprinkled over myself before I wrote the essay, like it just made me feel better about writing. And when you feel better about like your environment and with yourself, you will end up like surprising yourself in like many good ways.
Yeah, I've definitely had experiences with that myself as well. Because in WAP, every single time before an essay, I would just tell myself, okay, I believe in myself. I can write this essay. And then half the time, the results would be really, really, really surprising. Now, I also want to recognize that there are some times where you tell yourself, okay, I got this. And then in the end, it's like, well, you don't got this. And sometimes that can be kind of disappointing. Like you feel like you haven't lived up to your expectations or you're letting other people down. But in the end, you can always work harder. And if you feel unmotivated, you can always take a break and then just think about what you have to do later. And I want to emphasize that even though like sometimes while like, okay, let me restart that. I want to emphasize that even though you might work hard sometimes and you don't get the results that you want, then that doesn't like make you any less of a person, because you can always, because like, I guess in the end, it's really, really impressive, like the fact that you made this much progress already, and you should just be proud of that. Yeah.
And I would like to add on that some people equate their like self-worth and like confidence to like what they're good at and what they're not good at, which is in reality that's pretty sad, because I know like in today's society everyone's expected to be like academically inclined and do exceptionally well in a lot of things, but you have to like know but at the end of the day that you're human and that, you know, whatever you did is what you did, and that's okay because you have many more days ahead of you, and like I've mentioned before, you might end up surprising yourself one way or another.
Yeah, and sometimes when people, like, I know it can feel really sucky when you put a lot of effort into something and then you don't necessarily get the result that you want. And then it can be really easy to be like, oh, wow, I did all that work and for nothing. It wasn't for nothing, because that experience helped you learn more things that can prepare you for situations like that in the future. And I think every experience can be really valuable because you can learn so much and grow from them. Also, Sandy, would you like to go into intrinsic versus extrinsic confidence?
Yeah. So, what we talked about, manifestation, I think it's a lot more intrinsic factors where you envision yourself being in that situation, that favorable situation. And Joanna probably led that in, or her example led into this discussion really well, this new topic of intrinsic versus extrinsic factors. So just going into an interview, I think that's your extrinsic factors, where you may like, it's an event that's happening to you and you do go through it, and maybe you might have not done well, but from that, you get some intrinsic value of learning something from being in that interview. You learn how you should be upholding yourself, how others or what others are looking in you to have that position. So Well, so those are sort of like the factors, I guess, that go into confidence. Can you guys think of any other intrinsic or extrinsic factors that go into confidence? I know sometimes extrinsic could be like materialistic. A lot of people would like to like fit in with the group by having things, and they equate like their value and how they present themselves with things.
For like the extrinsic values, I feel like with like conditioning people, like there's like this fear of like missing out. So this is why like people like they get into trends, but like deep down, do you actually like it, or is this like is this something that someone thought that like, hey, this is good, you should try it, and you thought that, hey, maybe I should do that, but like things with like, I guess vaping, people get into that because a lot of people do it because it's cool, but you have to realize that what do you want, you know? Because people, society, and all that, they can't dictate your thoughts, they can't dictate what you do, and they shouldn't be able to dictate like how you feel and like, you know, how you think.
Maybe you should clarify that vaping is not cool because you said vaping is cool.
Oh, vaping is not cool.
Yeah. Do you think friends or like people that you surround yourself with can be an extrinsic factor too?
Honestly, I think that friends can be both because, for one, it could be extrinsic because you could feel like, oh, I don't fit in at school. And well, I mean, I'm different from everyone else in a really bad way. So you surround yourself with people that you think are smart and popular and have everything that you want so that other people will perceive you in a better light. And that's, even though that's one way you can make friends, it's not the best way to make friends and grow your social circle at all, because if you do that, you're not going to be very fulfilled. And the best social circle is one where you can just express yourself freely and basically do what you like. And so that's why friends can also kind of be like an intrinsic factor, because you could also hang out with people that make you happy and support you whenever you feel down. And even though I've definitely, like, speaking personally, been part of a friend group because of extrinsic factors, I feel like now I've found a lot more people that do support me in a really wholesome way. And I really just want it to stay that way. So, yeah, I guess if you ever want to get out there and make new friends, like the best people to hang out with will always be there for you no matter what and support you whenever you need it. And I feel like that's like one of the best qualities that any person can have. So.
Very true. I think in terms of friends and confidence, for me at least, when I see my friends like setting goals and they're like, yeah, like I'm applying to this school and like I really want to get in, or like, yeah, I really want to get like a good grade, or I really want this, and this. And they work hard and they like have such a positive attitude about the goals that they want to achieve. It kind of makes me feel so like empowered. And I'm like, yeah, that's so amazing. I want to do that too. And like, it kind of gives me the confidence to take that step, because if they can do it, I can probably do it. Or like if they can at least have the confidence to attempt it and like make that plan and like try to get to those goals, then it kind of gives me the confidence like, wow, that's so amazing, let me try to. And I think friends can be a big factor in that. And then also I think like just their like attitude and vibe, like if they're an outgoing, like optimistic and like positive person, I feel like that can make you a more positive person. But if there's someone that has a negative outlook, it might be able to rub off on you. So I think it's nice to be mindful of how you're behaving and seeing if it's reflecting off of how the people around you are behaving. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. But I think it's important to stay mindful.
Yes, I think it's really important to stay mindful because with friends, like, it's obvious that there's like some things that's bad impacts and there's some things that are good impacts, and it's okay to follow like the good impacts on your friends, but like you don't want to get too caught up and just do every single thing. Like you have to keep yourself in check too and remind yourself, do what's good for you, not just because what all of your friends are doing. And like obviously it's not like we can say, oh, friends are bad so we can't be with them. You just really had to like keep yourself in check and like go in the right path for you, because it's really easy to get carried away sometimes when you're having fun. So yeah, just be mindful.
I think ultimately you have to like surround yourself with people that like genuinely support you and like, help. You want to find people that will help you and the other person grow. Like when you end up with like bad friends, you might like subconsciously be a people pleaser, which is very, very bad on like your health. And because, you might end up going like above and beyond for someone that doesn't like give back the same energy, and like a lot of it's like one-sided. So you really have to find someone to help you create that balance and just like encourage you, because I think that also ties in with like confidence. When you find someone that believes in you, it really like puts you in a better state of mind.
Yes, never be around people who are gonna bring you down and be jealous of you. Like they gotta be supporting you, or else like just get rid of it. Bad vibes is not good for you or your mental state, because it just makes you feel like you had to be bad, like you feel worse than the person and you're always going to be the bottom of them. You should never have to feel like that. So if you're feeling like that because of what people say, um gotta get rid of it and surround yourself with positive people.
Would you like to go into the interact sayings, like the you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, or like be yourself?
Okay. I think as part of the Interact journey, in many of our journeys, we hear the phrase, you miss 100% of the shots you don't make a lot. You will see that in like so many posts every time there's new applications coming out within Interact. And I think it's sort of like an inside joke to us now. But I think in our Interact journey, that definition sort of like shaped or molded into something different that we do learn from, and something we understand a bit more to be able to say to others, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, I think I always see them on the Facebook posts or like the Instagram posts, or they would say it at meetings, and I'd be like, okay, like that's kind of cheesy, but sure. And then after, as I got like further along in my journey, I kind of learned, like I kept hearing it over and over, but I think it took on a very, very different meaning, because I think part of it is because in Interact, there's just a lot of opportunities in general. Like there's always something to apply for or something to, step up and take a position for. And you really do miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Because like there have been so many moments where people have been like, oh, I didn't think I could do this, but like I just did it and then I did. Or like they are able to surprise themselves. And I think the only way that you're able to realize your potential is by taking that risk and like putting yourself out there and being reminded that you have nothing to lose by trying and, putting in the work to reach your goal.
Yeah, I can relate to that because like with the area assembly, like I was kind of scared to apply because it was for officers only at the time, and I wasn't an officer, but Caitlin opened it up to everyone, and like honestly, I just went for it and look where it got me. So yeah, Interact is full of opportunities and everyone is so supporting and nice. So like you just never like regret it even if you don't make it.
I think like since my freshman year, the two words take initiative, like they've always stuck with me. Like I used to hear it like over and over again from like my brother and like the other officers before I became an officer, and I was like, at first I was like, what does this mean? And I was like, why are they repeatedly saying it? And then applications came out and I was like, man, I can't do this, because at the time I was like, the popular freshmen are applying and they're probably gonna like they probably have a more likable personality. But then like I ended up surprising myself and I actually like, made it in. And I feel like in general, when you have like great ambitions and like goals, like you're going to have to take some risk, and that's okay. If things don't turn out the way you you wanted them to, like you can always find a new path. Because I think not like necessarily failure, but like rejection just sets you up for like another path, like I've mentioned. And those two words, they're just very empowering to me, and I try to like, I guess, like implement them like every time we write like one of those like officer experience posts with like being an officer. And I just hope that like a person will like take that definition and like, or take those two words and apply it to their life like I do.
Yeah, when I was a freshman, I heard that those two words, take initiative, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to become a board member for my home club, but then I did it and I got it. I got in, and then over the past like 2 to 3 years, I really took it to heart, and all the not all the opportunities, but like some or most of the opportunities that were like there, I felt like if I didn't at least try it, it would be a waste because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So yeah.
See, we always go back to those words. Like, there's no escaping it in Interact. Because of those words, I've had like a lot of funny experiences too. Like, one time, it was my very first area meeting as an officer, and I didn't know anybody there except for like Crystalline. And they had auditions to become an MC for the charity dinner. I didn't even know what an MC was. I didn't know what the charity dinner was. And then they were like, "Oh, you guys should like just try it, like just audition." And then so Brandon Hood, he was like, "Joanna, take initiative." And I was like, "Fine, okay." And then I ended up doing like a one woman performance of Frozen in front of a room full of like 60 people I didn't know, and it was really funny, but looking back on it, it was kind of embarrassing. But the point is, I never would have done that without somebody being like, take initiative, or like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You like, sometimes you just need like a push to like get you to step out of your comfort zone. And would I do it again? Yeah, because it was really fun, and I think it was a great way to like get to know the people there.
I can also like kind of speak on this because last year, sophomore year, I got rejected from every stayover you can think of, including power. And when you think about it, that's kind of funny. But the first time I got rejected, I was like, it's okay because, there's like more opportunities. And like I still kept applying. And even if they're like, if they take place online now, I'm still going to apply. And if I get rejected, I think it's still kind of funny because I can add more onto my list on like how many times Crystalline got rejected from a stayover. But, I won't lose that hope because I will always take initiative to apply. And, if I don't make it in, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have that person that Joanna had to push her to be more confident, at least you have yourself. I think it's a really good skill to be able to laugh off some things. That's a really hard thing to do. But if you're able to get push yourself, like have something inside yourself to say, that's all right, I'll get it next time. I think that's a really good way to get some confidence too.
Yeah, I just want to add on and say that even though you should always look back on your past mistakes and try to learn from them, you shouldn't dwell. It's definitely like an awesome skill to be able to just laugh it off and, like enjoy what you've done, kind of. I remember freshman year when I applied to clubs that weren't Interact, the interviews were really, really, really bad. I remember like I even cried in one because like I didn't practice. And then they asked me stuff like, if you were an animal, what would you be? Well, I didn't freaking know. I liked like 4 animals and I just didn't know what to say. And so, yeah, I started crying. I mean, it's okay. A lot of people don't know what they're going to say sometimes, and it's perfectly normal. But yeah, even though I still kind of get scared when I have to do interviews, like now I did learn from that experience, and I kind of learned like what is expected of me and how to like kind of get my personality across. And that's really valuable knowledge that I'm very, very proud to have gained. And yeah, those first few interviews were not great, but it's not good to beat yourself up over things like that, or else growth is not going to come really easily to you. So, yeah.
Rejection is redirection.
Yes, I second that.
If you haven't seen our other episode about failures and leaving legacies, that was another common saying.
Yeah, that's another one. Oh, another one. There's more. Be yourself. And that one's the cheesiest, most basic one ever. But I also found a different meaning to it after doing Interact because, like, I think especially it applies to interviews and applications a lot. And I think it's something really important to keep in mind because it's easy to pretend to be like the best version of yourself or somebody that you think they want you to be, but they can see right through you. Like they've been through the processes and they know. So it's not worth it to try and just be this perfect person. It's more beneficial to everyone if you're just honest and truthful about who you are and like let your personality shine because that's what they want to see. And even out of interviews, like just the way you behave like on a daily basis, it's important to stay true to yourself and like keep your intentions true to what you actually want because it's easy to get misguided sometimes.
Taking initiative just ties in with like confidence. And like when you take initiative, it kind of builds it in a way.
Yeah, and I feel like we say take initiative a lot. Like it's like we hear a lot, but it's kind of hard to describe what it actually means, like make it a tangible thing to understand because it's kind of vague when people say take initiative. So like I think an example would be like if somebody is a bit busy, like if you're working on like a group project and you know that everybody kind of wants to be there and work on the group project and everyone cares about the group project, but unfortunately someone is really busy because maybe they have something going on with their personal life, you can take initiative by, you know, kind of stepping up and like trying to be like, oh, what can I help you with? And then trying to kind of communicate better in order to achieve your goals and in a way that works for everybody and be accommodating to other people's situations. And that's one way you can take initiative.
Yeah, and I guess another way of taking initiative, I guess, is also just like in school in general. Like you can honestly take initiative like in all aspects of your life. But like something that I have been doing recently is like I've been going to tutorials. Surprise. Okay, I didn't go like at the beginning of the school year, but now that I started, I found out that it was actually really, really helpful because like if you don't get something, you can always ask your teachers or your classmates about it, and in the end you might just walk away with a better understanding of it. And even if you don't understand the content, which has also happened to me, then you gain things like better organizational skills and study habits, and those will be useful to you for like basically the rest of your life. So yeah, taking initiative can be really hard and sometimes scary at times, but like in the end, like the experiences that you walk away with, they really make taking on the challenge worth it.
Yeah, and like for my own personal experience, when like I know I need to like take a break for like self-care, I try to start small because, you know, sometimes I feel guilty about like maybe sleeping in a little or like eating too much of the sweets. But, you know, I think that it also kind of ties in with like motivation in a way. Like you kind of have to like kickstart something and then like in order to get to like where you want to be. And like Alicia mentioned, that taking initiative can take forms in like many, many ways. Like whether you might consider it little or small, when you do something like stepping up, it's still taking initiative because you did it and you'll get to where you want to be when you take initiative.
A personal story I think I have for me is in the beginning we said that building your confidence is going to be a really long journey, or like it will be a process. And that's definitely true. I think relating to Alicia's story, it was something I started gaining confidence through trying to find things that I could do to improve myself. Self-improvement, I think, was my biggest motivation to gain some confidence. And I don't know, I think it's through those little actions, like being able to talk to my teachers or finding new outlets or like doing things that I know that I could benefit from. And all of those things just built up over probably the last 4 years of high school. Like, I think I was a really ambitious freshman going into high school. So through all of that actions, I molded who I am today, just a person I am today with so much confidence. Yeah. And to our listeners out there or our viewers, although we may seem like we have our stuff together, our things together, our lives together, we definitely have our own moments of losing motivation too. So does anyone want to talk about that and maybe give tips on how to get out of the rut?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say I'm actually experiencing it right now because I'm in AP Physics. I'm not good at it, and my test scores definitely reflect that. And this is also the reason why I've been going to tutorials, and it's definitely been a big issue in my life because I was like, my GPA could go super duper low because of this class. And yeah, definitely I have been feeling down as a result of it. But I think something that I've been trying to do now is just whenever I feel down about a test score, then I just remind myself that at least I did try my best to study for that test. And even though it's going to feel really, really crushing to see other people getting way better scores than I did and them saying that they didn't study, it's not good to compare yourself to other people because you're never going to be other people. And it's honestly what's the word? Debilitating it really hurts you to try. So I guess something that I kind of live by now, I have this kind of mantra thingy is that I'm trying my best. I'm doing whatever I can within my limits. And honestly, that's good enough because if you look back at it, I did make a lot of progress throughout the year, even though the results weren't always what I wanted. And I learned a lot from it. And like I said before, the knowledge that you do get, even though it doesn't seem that way, it's more valuable than any grade will ever be. And I feel like I should just start taking the time to appreciate myself more. And then that would also help grow my confidence.
Yeah, I agree. Every Wednesday since the beginning of school, I had to juggle between my AP classes, my regular classes, ASB, Interact, and I'm forgetting something else. Oh, music. And that was a lot of stress on my plate. And I don't know how to say it, but it's really important to make sure that your mental health is okay because I was starting to become a burnout for all my things. It was crazy. But I took time to realize that I should probably focus on my mental health first and then put everything else. So I took a little break on social media for 2 days and I feel like that really helped. Even though it was little, it really showed me that you have to make sure you're okay because it would be a domino effect if you affect other people. So yeah.
I think we all have to understand we're human and we need to take care of ourselves, because I know a lot of us are workaholics and we'll go to the extremes just to get something done. But when you start to feel the effects, being a workaholic is very detrimental to your mental and physical health. I know a lot of us can speak up about that because we get overloaded with homework and then sometimes we forget to eat, we don't sleep. And I think what's really important is just addressing your concerns and your problems. When you know something is wrong, you should address it and take care of yourself because that is so, so important.
Very true. I think especially around now where it's super cold, it gets dark at 5 p.m. and it's Thanksgiving, but then there's also holiday break coming up. So now you're just not even doing your best. You're just kind of looking forward to the breaks that are coming up. And that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like burnout is so easy now. And it's kind of scary because all these stuff clubs and school used to be stuff that I was kind of excited about and put so much effort into. And then I feel like when you're burnt out, you kind of don't look at those things the same way anymore. But I feel like it's really important to take a step back, because if you know you're not doing your best work and you keep on trying to do the work, but you're still not going to achieve the results that you want, it's better to step away for a few days and then come back and then do good quality work than doing lesser quality work and then it being harmful to your own health. And I think that kind of ties into finals, because it's November right now. Break is next week, and we have finals coming up very, very soon, especially since December. It's in like mid-December for a lot of people, and it can be very, very stressful. And when you're entering that stress while burnt out, that can be really, really hard for yourself. So I think it's important to take rest often in order to put the right amount of effort and like do your best in the stuff that is important.
Yeah, and something that I did last year, when we like had to go to school like physically, there were some days like you would think like taking a day off would be like, oh, you're out of town or like you're sick, but I took mental health days occasionally, and they really helped because they kind of set like a basis for me to like get back into what I was doing. And just when you take care of yourself, you take care of your mind.
I know it's like often stressed that during finals week, you need to work as hard as you can and study as much as possible. But honestly, the bottom line is just don't stay up late. It will help. Trust me. Last year, something that I did was I would study for a few classes early. I didn't manage my time well enough to study for everything beforehand. But when finals week itself rolled around, I would try to go to bed before 11:30 every night, because when you're sleep deprived, you really like aren't aware of all your surroundings. And it's kind of like feeling burnt out, and burnout and sleep deprivation, like they're often correlated for this reason. And when you're sleep deprived, it's just really hard to notice everything. So that's why it's like also really, really important to take care of your mental health, like take breaks if you need it. And yeah, you can even, as Crystalline said, if you need some time off from school, take it. Because if you try to do everything you need to while burnt out, it's just going to make the situation worse. And honestly, in situations like this, it's okay to put yourself first and think of your mental health, because that is really what's like the foundation of everything. So you need to take care of it.
Also, this episode is coming out at the end of November, so please take this as a message to start studying. I think when you're prepared, you definitely have the confidence that you'll do well on your test. And I don't know, some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't have time to study for finals. But the week of finals or during dead week, you're definitely for sure not gonna have time. So take this message, study now.
And because like we're learning online and teachers have to like compress like their lectures and like everything, and everything is going at a fast pace, start early. It's better to start early and then to wait to the last minute, because during finals week last year, I studied like maybe an hour before class, and then I failed all my exams. Life lesson learned.
Yep. Thank you to Sandy, because we talked last week, and honestly, I forgot how soon finals were coming up. Like, I didn't realize it. And then I think in previous years, I always didn't do so well on finals because I would study like the week before and they'd be like, okay, I'm ready. And then when I didn't get what I wanted, I'd be like, how'd that happen? Like, I thought I studied. So yeah, I just realized make a study plan. I think that's important. I will do that very soon.
And don't be afraid to ask like your like teachers or like anyone for help. Like when you know that you need help, take the initiative. Get the help, girl.
We need take initiative counter every time it says in the episode.
Oh my gosh.
Or we need a counter for every time someone takes a sip out of their water bottle. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, also during finals week, drink water, because I'm really bad at that, and that's why I have headaches all the time. And headaches during a final, not fun. Like, not terrible. That's terrible. So drink water during finals week, especially.
All right, and with that, we'll leave you with good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
What about like being overconfident, like all the time?
That's what I thought was confidence or arrogance, being overconfident.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easy to do that because like like I said, like for tests and stuff, you can be like, oh, I skimmed through the chapters, I got this. That's kind of being overconfident because in reality, I know I didn't study as much as I should have, and that kind of backfired on me. So I think it's definitely a learning experience, and like you have to go through the ups and downs in order to really be able to do your best and kind of do what's right and what's good for you.
Okay, so I think that's it for our episode today. Remember that you're always growing. You will never really stop growing. And even though you might not be getting the results that you want, you're still making progress. And that's something to be really, really proud of. We also have a game show activity soon. So make sure to go and look out for our guest again next month. Oh, yeah.
Basically, if there's one thing that you take away from this episode is that growth never stops. Like, I know we talked so much about how we all have grown and how we all have more confidence than we did like before, but we still have a long way to go. Like, everyone is always growing, and I feel like even if you think somebody has their life together, they probably don't feel like they do. And that's part of what we mean by you keep growing and like you never stop growing.
Yeah, and then I'll add on that from the wise words of Miss Amanda Vu. Yes, she is such a huge motivation to me. I look up to her a lot, and I think one method that you can do in order to think that you're always growing, because I think having that growth mindset is really the motivation to do more, to gain confidence. And Amanda always says that to be thankful for everything. We've said it a lot before, but we want you guys to take everything that is thrown to you in life and like take it seriously. Learn what you probably got from it, and just know that, yeah, everything that happens to you for a reason. There's always something more to learn from it.
Okay, so as stated before, that's all, folks. Okay, guys, say bye to the camera.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
watching.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.